And the adrenaline and the nerves, and if you've got a situation that you're not expecting, like you're in a lineup and the microphones aren't quite right, or you haven't got a chair that you imagined before you arrived, or even in my case, I was taking part in an event, I was doing the keynote, and then I was taking part in a panel discussion afterwards. The moderator hadn't been revealed to me. In fact, I'd asked, who's moderating the event? Who's going to be the host of the thing? And they, oh no, it's a surprise actually. I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe they haven't decided yet. And maybe they're a bit behind with all of that. Who knows? It turned out, because the location was in a theatre, that they'd got a pantomime dame to host the whole event and moderate the panel. Guess what? She did a costume change every time, and it was a business event. And I'm there going, oh, I'm here to speak to a business audience. What the hell? She was doing hands, knees and shit, knees and toes, knees and head, shoulders, knees and with the audience. And I'm there going, oh my goodness. But she wasn't good at moderating because she ignored one of the panelists who wasn't very forthcoming. So there was a balance to be struck there. But the nerves side of things can really cause a problem. In fact, we've had a question from Emma Walker. Top tips, please, panel. If you find yourself down a train of thought or on a panel where you're a bit far from where you meant to be, maybe you haven't prepared some stuff, or maybe nerves have taken over and you're having an out-of-body experience where you're looking down on yourself going, what are you saying? Wind it back now. How do you get out of that? How do you work that out? Has anyone got any ideas? So put your hand up if you want to go first on that. Sharon, thanks.
So I think it's courageous to just stop and say, sorry, that's happened to me. It's happened to me many times.
Right.
And having the courage to just stop and say, do you know what? And make light of it where possible. Goodness me, what am I talking about? Let me start again. Because if you just continue on, that hole just gets bigger and bigger, and you keep on digging and you just lose the audience and you start to lose credibility. Yeah. But if you just allow yourself to be the imperfect panelist, that's okay. And if you segue into that and transition through that in a way which is lighthearted, especially where you've built rapport with the audience, they'll be with you. And what you'll feel ashamed actually won't be so significant. So I would say just stop where you are and find a way to navigate through.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Simi, you had this, didn't you, in the summer? You had a meltdown, is that right? Is it fair to call it a meltdown? Not really.
Yeah, it was. And it was a virtual event. And I was there talking about tech, and I had the wheel of death, and it all went crazy wrong. And I had my second screen and my notes disappeared. And actually, for a second, I just thought to myself, we're all people. So I 100% agree with what Sharon's saying is, it's just, let's not have an ego and carry on and then flounder and fluster the way through something. And as you say, Sharon, lose the audience. Let's just keep it real, and say, actually, sorry, I've lost my train of thought here. Or just say, let me just revert back. But, be honest. And what I've noticed in those scenarios is half the time people don't notice. So if you just stop, take a second, regroup, start again, no one's really noticed. It's just me because I've gone off cue on my notes.
Okay, brilliant. Asif, I've got a question for you from Bev Wood. It's an excellent question. How do you use a virtual sheep hook to stop a panelist carrying on? And Fiona, perhaps you can answer this as well. The moment, so I moderated a panel. It was about Brexit, and we had 3 lawyers on. It was for a legal team and an audience that were lawyers. I don't know if you know this, Sharon and Fiona, you've got legal backgrounds. They go on a bit, don't they? Right, lawyers? Yeah. And the first guy, I'd prepped them all. I'd sent my email out to them. I go, hi, I'm Penny. I'm moderating. I'm going to be asking you about this, this, and this. I look forward to having the briefing chat. Just so you know, I'm going to introduce all of you. And when I do, I'm going to ask you a little question that's just a light little answer. It was for the audience to get to know the voice and for them to warm up. And so the fourth person isn't sitting there like a bit of a lemon at the end, waiting to be introduced. He didn't read the memo on that. And he spoke for about 4 minutes on his topic that I didn't ask him about. And it was unfortunate because it was a bit awkward. and I couldn't interrupt him. I don't know why, I just didn't feel I could. So sheep hook, when you want a panelist to easy in person, difficult online, what might you do?
We'll trial it out now, Penny, and I'll just keep talking until you're ready to hook me off the screen.
Great, so that's super. Thank you very much, Asif. Fiona, how did that? Well, a bit abrupt, wasn't it?
It was a bit. I actually think the chat box is your friend virtually, because you can send messages and say, cut it down now, quickly. And that's the first thing that you can do as the moderator. So don't feel that that chat box is there, because that can get more comfortable with the tech as the moderator. Use it as your friend. And sometimes you do have to say, oh, actually, we've really got to be tight on time. So perhaps when we come back to the end, we can pick up on that point. Next question. So it's not shutting someone down. It's knowing that they're still going to get space, and you're respecting that their time and their input is valuable to that piece, but it needs to take a different place in the ring order.
Yes, it is. It's very un-British as well to interrupt someone, isn't it, and to shut them down. But nonetheless, you're serving the audience, and I think that's ultimately who you need to be thinking about, isn't it? Panelists and moderators alike. It's what does the audience, what have they come for? What do they want to find out, and how can we keep them on time and get to the topics that we've got on the list, rather than just keeping on this one particular topic? So let me look for some more questions. Heather's been doing a great job of sending them to me. Sharon has asked, any tips to open up the audience and get people asking questions? Sharon, I have put in the book, you see, I'm doing a book, don't know if you knew that, about how to handle audience questions and all the different scenarios. And of course, there's nothing worse, is there, than, so, audience questions. Anyone got a question? So, I'll come back to you. And it's awful, isn't it? So, any tips from a moderator's point of view as to how to elicit questions? Keep going back to it and going, don't forget. Is that it? How would you do it?
I always like to prime the audience. So throughout, I will remind them that we'll come to a Q&A section. And as we're approaching that, I'll remind them again. When we get to it, I will have a question ready. So I'll say we're about to have some questions. I will ask the first question. So I'll always have a couple of questions ready so that we don't have that gap. Usually by the time I've asked the first question, because they've been primed for it, the audience are ready to then go into flow. But always having a question there, a couple of questions that you're ready, and reminding the audience that questions and that Q&A is coming, I think is a great way to prepare for that.
I, at the beginning, set out 3 scenarios that the audience might be interested in. So if I'm moderating something like how to navigate the new VAT regulations in a post-Brexit, situation, and topics do come up like that, and I do go, oh yeah, I'll moderate that. That's interesting. I might go, you might want to know about ferry crossings. You might want to know about logistics further afield into Northern Ireland, etc. Or you might be thinking about how to tackle HMRC and get the right information. So I'll paint some scenarios that they might want to ask questions about. It also makes me look knowledgeable when I know nothing about the topic. It's always good. Okay, so we're going to bring it to an end. I do have a final question for you. And there are lots of benefits to being on panels. You've all told me that in our briefing call that we had. You get some exposure, you get to network with other people, you can add value, you might get to collaborate with others. It's really, really good. You get to shake hands with the whole room in one go, and you share the load. You're not necessarily delivering a keynote, and it's not always about you. So, final question for you. How might you get on a panel in the first place? So that's a question from Carol Salmon. How might you? I mean, you've all been doing it for ages. You probably don't remember how to do this, but is it by telling your friends and family, or telling your organisation that you do panels and you'd like to do more? Simi.
The way I did it, or the way I started out, was being part of my industry networks. So going to networking events back in the day when we could, and And then I started talking about my career journey, as I think, Penny, you alluded to that at the start. And that was how it all began for me personally. But getting out there, networking, meeting people, you know, showing that credibility, your hot topic areas. For me, again, I'm very passionate about diversity and inclusivity. So I used to get asked to join a lot of things related around that topic. And over the years, I've been, you know, kind of become a bit of an SME. So I'm going to join Microsoft and talk about tech. And it's really important that me as a female of color is represented. So it's how you it's where you want to get to, really, and how you navigate that. But it's all about, I keep saying it, but it's authenticity. Don't be something that you're not.
Okay, lovely. And we're going to bring that full circle and end the panel discussion there. There is a whole chapter on how to get on panels in the first place, which if you're starting out is really invaluable, because, I mean, how would you go about it? It's not something that is advertised as a job, is it? So think about even creating your own event. So thank you all very much, Asif, Simi, Fiona and Sharon. Round of applause for you. Thank you very much. And so finally, we come to the third book giveaway. And we're going to be going and making sure that person is here. I'm not sure he is. Let's have a look across the top there. Sorry, I'll go back to gallery view so I can see you all. Is he there? Is he there? Where are you? Paul Jones. There we are. Found you eventually. Paul Jones, you're the winner, lucky winner. And the big prize, of course, for a chance to win coaching with me, to help you either think about being a panelist or a moderator, but maybe even to walk through a few ideas on running your own event where you moderate or take part in a panel. Why not? You know, Zoom's the oyster. Zoom's your oyster, is it? Anyway, coaching session, a couple of hours with me, if you don't mind. And it is she there? Yep, Sharon Seville. Hello, we'll get to know each other if that's what you'd like to do. Of course, you can always decline that. But yeah, that's been brilliant. I would like to share with you finally, before we finish at 1:30, not just this, which you can buy now at Amazon, but also a handy QR code if you wanted to get through to the free resources. There's script ideas, there's email ideas for your panelists to help keep them under control and show that you're the leader of the pack, and also a video where someone has used their panel opportunity to take it further and fan their flame of fame by taking a video at their panel discussion, which is a really cute idea to show people that you take part in panel discussions. And then you get asked on more, and it becomes this beautiful, virtuous circle. So there we go. That's it from me. I would love to keep in touch. So if you're not already on my list of things to keep in touch with, then join me. And you can also book me to do a masterclass at your place of work, if you'd like to get people together to learn how to be on panels, so that no one never needs to say no again. There we go. Fabulous. Lovely to see you all. Thank you for joining me. I hope your working lunch was fantastic. And thank you to our panelists and to Heather for being the producer co-host in the background there. Thank you all very much. And I'll see you soon. Take care.